The Sunday Sequence Break.
Yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 144 of the Sunday Sequence Break. It's a very special number this week, as many of you probably have noticed. This is the first number that isn't a square number. Did you guys know that?
Is it not? Wow.
Yeah.
First one.
The first one. Up until this point, every number is a square number. But 144 isn't. It's the first non-square number.
Yep. We've reached a milestone.
So what shape is it? Is it like a circle or a pentagram?
I don't really know that much, but I just know it's not a square. So yeah, it's impressive. Anyway, now you guys have a fact. We're going to welcome you to episode 144 of the Sunday Sequence Break. We've got a very special episode in that it's completely normal, which makes it special. So, much like you, the viewers.
You're all special.
Yeah, but also normal at the same time. So that's reassuring, I think, on many levels. Joining us on this journey to be normal, as per usual, we have Feasel.
Hello.
We have Gildersneeze kicking around somewhere in the background trying to fix Skype, but I'm not sure.
He will pop in at some point,
Yeah.
most likely.
I was kind of hoping when we said that, we'd hear him in, like, the back of his room digging out electronics, and he'll be like, "Yeah, no, I've always heard it's coming." Something like that, you know.
Followed by a loud crashing sound.
Yeah, that would be great, but unfortunately, didn't happen. But
His sense of timing is terrible.
yeah, maybe next. We'll probably hear it in a minute or two. But
Right.
and then yeah,
Go on.
as our special guest, really not actually that special, more normal, you know, like is the theme. We have RoboSparkle.
Hello.
RoboSparkle also has this background, which I perennially forget about showing off. So there you go. Hey Feasel.
Hey, Flicky.
Have you been doing anything interesting in this past week?
I don't remember. What week even is it?
I'm sure if you asked a European, they could tell you which week number it was.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't keep track of week numbers.
I don't either, but I've had multiple people, Europeans, especially Swedes, say, "Is that week number this or week number that?" As if I know.
I guess if the number of days in the year was divisible by 7, that might be a good way to divide up time, but it just seems sort of arbitrary.
Okay, so is 18?
Anyway, so
what's 18
speedrunning.
divided by 7?
18
Or do we have to do
divided by 7.
18 times 5 because it's the months divided by 7?
Yes, you're making more and more sense.
90 divided by 7 is like 14.
But that only works on episodes where we have a square number, which we don't have.
Oh,
We-
okay,
yeah,
that's
we're
why.
used to that, and now we suddenly don't anymore.
That's why the math is falling apart. Never mind. So let's not bog us down with impossible mathematics like what week number are we on, and instead talk about speedruns.
Speedruns. Well, that is something that I did this week,
Yes.
so it's interesting that you brought that up.
Good.
Well, this week I played a bunch of Zelda 2. That's been a fun project to start back up again. I took a break, a very long break from that game, and I've been working on doing the any percent no out of bounds category. It's been pretty fun. Making progress slowly. I've got so many runs that are just hugely ahead of my PB, and then something just goes horribly wrong. So I'm hoping that that'll get less and less common, and I'll actually start finishing runs. But I keep changing the route. Like every other day, maybe I just completely change around something, and then all my notes are wrong. And
You do tend to every week talk about how you're rerouting the game.
Yeah, because I can't. I have to wonder about what other ways are there to do things. I just can't leave well enough alone. But I actually found something really cool. I found some neat manipulations of the monsters in the overworld, which, if you ever watched runs of the game, those random monsters that pop up in the overworld can really ruin your run. But I found some really cool ways of manipulating that, getting the fence skip to work consistently. So that's good. That's going to cut down on some of the randomness in future runs. But let's see. I also worked on Wizards and Warriors a little bit, just because I'm trying to stay in shape on it, but I haven't really been doing serious world record attempts. I've just been doing kind of no reset things at the end of the stream or every now and then to keep it fresh in my memory. And, man, I don't know. That's pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of SGL stuff. We had a gimmick episode of SGL yesterday, and it was crazy. I mean, I don't think we've had 4 players put in as much practice time in a week as we did this past week. But gimmick, top tier speed game, I'm really impressed. Now that I understand it a bit more, I'm really impressed with everyone who runs that game. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's always a newfound appreciation when you've actually played it.
Yeah, because I'd watched plenty of runs, and I know, Cypher did amazing things, and I can see that the star jumps are hard, but now I realize that literally everything that you do, every time you throw the star, it's some small frame window that you're trying to hit perfectly. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, anytime you play a game for the first time, you're like, what the fuck? How? I've seen it done, but what? Yeah. Right, me. I'm pretty sure this week I did Dragon's Crown. I didn't talk about it last week, did I?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
No, you did. You did do Dragon's Crown this week.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah.
I watched a bit of it.
Did we get the...
Confirmed.
Did we PB this week, or did we not?
I didn't see you PB.
Oh, okay. Well, then we didn't PB this week, but we've been practicing more Dragon's Crown. It's a lot of fun to play that game, and to run it also. We would have PB'd, that's right, but connection issues are a slight problem.
Oh yeah, that's
in that game. We lost 2 minutes to that, but for all of you avid Dragon's Crown speedrun knowledgeable people in the chat, which is none of you, we should be able to one cycle the final boss, which is a nice general term that you guys should be able to get on board with and be like, oh, that sounds like an improvement. But that would save...
one cycling a boss, that's good.
Yeah.
That would save...
Since 2 cycling a boss involves the boss hiding away in far distance for
he
ages.
hides away in the distance and shoots little green things at you, and if you hit them back at him, it does a tiny weeny bit of damage. So anytime he's almost dead, you're like, oh, maybe these will kill him, but they never do. So, yes, we're confident we can get that 2 cycle down. 1 cycle, well, that's what I meant, one cycle. But it's...
You want to get the 2 cycle down to a 1 cycle.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant to say. Yeah. Aside from that, One Finger Death Punch is a good game and you guys should play it. And that's all speedrun news wise. That wasn't really speedrun news, that one. But just general advice, life advice. It's a pretty fun game. You should try it out. Robo. Oh no, wait. We did ESA cuts as well. I was part of the ESA cuts people, and we did them, and they're out there. So if you want to go check them out, they're out there on speedrun.com. Search speedrun.com ESA 2015, or don't search it, write it, and they're in there under second cuts. You can look at them and be like, man, this scheduling team is maybe the best ever. Something along those lines.
Yeah, that's what you should think when you see it.
It's totally sick, yo.
Yeah.
Sick cuts, yo.
Sick cuts. You guys are looking at them thinking, damn, I don't want to spread lies, but I'm pretty confident that SGDQ put Wheel of Time in because we put Wheel of Time in. They said some people dropped out of SGDQ, which is a marathon problem, and they opted to put Wheel of Time in in its place, and I'm 99% sure that's because they saw that we had put it in. So, you know, just saying, good choice. Good choice,
Yeah.
SGDQ. I also looked at what their SM64 run was that's planned this year, and I'm like, what the hell? That's going to be ridiculous. But that's a separate point. We'll get into that when it's SGDQ hype time, and not too soon. And then Robo.
Hello.
Oh, hang on, let me click your thing.
Oh, I've got a thing.
There you go.
I've also got a thing.
They are.
Sweet.
What have you been up to this past week-ish?
So the past weekish, had a blind race on the Master System version of Dynamite Heady, which is
Oh,
a
boy.
port, which is a port of the Game Gear version, which in itself is a downgrade of the Mega Drive version.
Why would you do it that way? It's like making an NES port from a Game Boy port. That's stupid.
But it works, and except like in the bosses, most of the screen is taken up by the staging, and the actual play area is basically the same size as the play area in a Game Gear game. So that makes those areas quite interesting. And now because of that race, I think Crazy Rasmus is starting to do runs, much like I did with Flash the week before. So those have been entertaining to watch. I've started routing Guyana Sisters No Warps because I was doing a score attack run for Lemon Amiga. They're doing a tournament of Amiga games, which isn't speedrunny, but it did lead into a speedrunny thing where I tried to do all levels. And then I've been working individual levels on my ESA stuff.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to hear.
I was going to finish with that, you see. I've got all the less relevant stuff out of the way first. So, yeah, WizKid is pretty tight now, accepting RNG, but yeah, just got to hope for that. But Wizardroids, the final area where you basically play asteroids until you get 55,000 points, is actually coming on very well. And I'm getting good at using hyperspace without dying like you do in the arcade game.
Yeah.
And then Ark of Asylum, just basically choreographing the fights very carefully, and they seem to be getting a lot more consistent.
Nice. I've been looking at streams. Whenever I look at a stream of someone who's got to run an ESA now and they're not running their practice game, I sort of shake my head slightly and then look at my second monitor where I'm not playing my ESA game, and I'm like, okay, maybe not be so judgmental. Alrighty, hey, Gilda, just checking. Gilda Sneeze?
He's not here yet. Still working on it.
He's still working on it. Let's go ahead and tell everybody that he's probably been working on a bit more Demon Head, and trying to grind that time down to whatever his current goal is, which I always lose track of because it keeps moving downwards, as all good speedrun goals should. And streams, maybe something about streams and
Something
Demon
about
Head.
streams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to records. Bam. I press the split. Press this one. And we have a fair few records today. We have 5 pages of records, which means like 20, 23
Did you
records.
used up all your maths?
Yeah, it's all gone. It took me weeks to figure out that the 144 not a square number thing, but you know, moving on. Let's give the first one to you, Feasel. We're going straight into records. As you may have noticed, we don't have a game of the week this week, which is pretty fine. We normally, before, we did records every 4 weeks, but we haven't done one in a while, and we thought, hey, we should do one now because we don't have a game of the week planned.
Yeah, like there were other alternatives.
Oh yeah,
Yes, that's weird.
yeah, exactly right. I'm being honest. Feasel,
Okay.
we got
Yes.
Baton.
Baton Kaitos.
Baton
Or
Kaitos.
Baton Kaitos?
I think it's
always
probably
said
Baton
Baton Kaitos.
now that I look at it.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
what I usually say.
Uh-oh.
All right, this
Hang-
is for the PAL GameCube.
Yes. Give me a sec. I maybe.
14 hours, 42 minutes, 3 seconds. This is a improvement over the last time.
We got some real robot going on, Feasel. Is this just me, or is there a robot Feasel?
That's Robot Feasel,
That's robot Feasel.
and I would know.
Hang on, Feasel. You're roboting pretty hard. Let's
Okay.
let's let you unrobot while I fix the thing that apparently I hadn't set up, and I was pretty sure I had. So You work on de-roboting. He's still roboting. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
It's very roboty. I wanted to know what you'd sound like if you're a robot. Now I know. Oh yeah, I need to do this one. There we go. What's going on with this Skype call? Yeah, how about Feasel host, just in case?
Okay, let's do it.
That's probably better.
This sounds good to me.
It's a bit...
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool.
All right, sweet. Let's go. Let's carry on. No, nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. Everything is perfectly fine. So we got Baten Kaitos for GameCube, PAL GameCube, any percent in 14:42:31 by Baffin, who says this is a 54-minute improvement over the last run that was in December of 2013. Yes, 17 months ago. A ton of things happened since the last run. I did 100% runs of this game twice, and I didn't think about submitting to TSSB, darn. And this time I was way more confident about my skills. In more than a year, I made a lot of little improvements in the route and notes, and the previous run itself was not that great. But putting a 15-hour-long run is not possible anytime, just anytime, of course, as you can guess. But this week I had time to do it, and I was finally able to beat this obsolete PB I had for too long. Very happy about it. My sum of best is now 13 hours 50 minutes. Okay, and I can approach the 14 hours kind of easily in the next run, but that's another story. P.S. I know you missed me.
I've seen him. He's been in Skype calls around me, so we know. I know he's there. This is a cool game, and combine long JRPG with cards, and you have a good idea of why this is quite a lengthy run. As is understandable, really. It's a cool game, though. Baffin has spent, I would go on the record to say, too much time on this. The 100% runs are like 300 hours long or something ridiculous, trying to get every card or something.
Wow, that's excessive.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
whatever.
no
It's
thanks.
speedrun. Why
Yeah.
not?
Now, Maria. I saw this and I had my initial reaction of like, oh, it's a Castlevania run. And then I was like, oh, it's Maria! And it's on the Saturn. So I was very excited. Being the speedrun hipster that I am, Maria is my favorite category of Symphony of the Night. So we have Symphony of the Night, the Saturn version. Not just the Saturn version, the Japanese Saturn version, Maria, by Wild Mouse in 810, who says, once again I'm in the position of having to defend myself against critics' claim that I hate fun. Let this, my best speedrun after a week of this category, remind you that I can endure fun for intended periods of time. Shouts to MU Holder, PKSL, and Talic Zealot for helping make the OOB clip consistent. Console sub 8 will happen. Yes. There you go. I liked that. This run, look at this video, and this just describes Maria for you. It's, that was...
Yeah, that's certainly Maria.
Yep, this is what she does. She flies. I just love that someone did this on a Saturn. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, why is Saturn like a rubbish version of this game again? And I looked at the load screens between it and I was like, oh boy. I'm glad we're cutting these out. It's a good. There you go. It's Maria, and if she isn't your favorite category in every Soten game she's in, then I don't know. Well, not Soten. Every Castlevania game she's
Every
in.
Soten game she's in.
Yeah. Every Soten. All the Sotens.
Every single Soten game.
Then I don't know what's
The
wrong
bottom
with
one
you.
and the other one.
Yes.
All the square numbered Sotens.
All the square Soten. Okie dokie, Roboki, Spooky. Tell us about this speedrun, which I cannot rhyme with Okie.
Okay. Right. So this is Contro Key on the NES. It's a any percent run. DK28 has improved time down to 9:57. And he writes, so my 1500 follower special got underway this week. This run happened. The goal is still 9:56, so this run was a 9:57.1. Besides trolling in Snowfield, There were minor execution errors in Base 2 and Alien's Lair, mid-boss. Be sure to check out attempts, as the 956 looks like it will be coming sooner rather than later.
That's good to hear. I'm also quite amused that he said this run happened, because I'm now worried that everyone who doesn't say it happened in their comments
He's lying.
is lying.
Might not happen.
But yeah, it's DK. If you do not know, DK is going for the 956, which right now is what he believes is the best humanly possible second window for a human with the current route. And he's going for it, and he's going pretty hard into it. I would imagine. This is inspiring Contra runners all over the world to pick up Contra again. Just FYI.
Yeah, certainly not a task you take lightly.
No. Improving a Contra run is like improving, you know, an SM64 or an SM Super Mario Brothers or something like that run. It's no easy feat.
It's like improving the Mona Lisa.
Right. I mean, I could improve the Mona Lisa, give her a little cheeky smile or something like that,
Right.
you know. But yeah,
Finish colouring it in.
it's not easy. The other thing is, if improving the Mona Lisa is you're not going to have to convince people it's better, because they're going to know with this one.
Go, look, you can tell the Mona Lisa's better now because the numbers are lower.
Yeah. Did he just pause that and change something? Sorry, I got distracted. Did he do something there to stop those falling on him? What did he do?
Oh, yeah, you can do that to stop the crushers from going.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Mhm.
That's cool. Nice little time save there. One I imagine people saw and went, oh.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of those. That was one of those I liked in Vice City, where people just, instead of going right, went left, and it saved like 2 seconds on driving, and everyone looked and it was like, oh, wow. Alrighty, we're just going to keep cycling. Oh no, I need to do this one.
Okay, go for it.
This
You're
is
cycling.
this is Environmental Station Alpha, aka ESA.
Whee!
On PC, 80% inbounds easy in 2627 by Voltray, who says, Environmental Station Alpha is a small Metroidvania game with a lot of typical speed tricks that you find in this genre. A series of damage boosts gets you the vertical dash upgrade very early on. With the vertical dash, you can reach a lot of late game areas, allowing you to skip major portions of the game. Aside from the vertical dash, the only upgrades I get are double jump, hook shot, and the plasma shield, most of them earlier than I'm supposed to. The early plasma shield especially makes one of the bosses trivial and completely destroys his second phase. The run is on easy difficulty, the only difference to normal being that you have more health and take less damage, allowing for more damage boosts and generally being safer to run. The run overall is pretty solid. I got all the important tricks first try, and I got decent luck on the bosses. I also did less safety strats and skipped several time consuming save stations and a health upgrade, which saves a decent chunk of time over my previous time. Shoutouts to Hempuli, the developer, who always did his best to preserve most of the speed tricks while he was fixing this game. That's nice of him. Also, good job for picking a nice name for your game that leads to a good acronym. That's what I would suggest. I also had another thing where Cripper was talking about one of his runs and saying that the developer is the best runner of the game as well, so I quite like when devs are involved in it. There you go.
This looks like a fun game.
Yeah. Looks pretty cool. I like the little
I
model.
saw a little bit of ceiling grappling. You know, I like a good grappling
Yeah.
hook game.
We all do, really.
Sure.
Everyone likes a nice little grappling hook game. Yeah, I like
Saw some
the
damage boosting over walls. I like that too.
little model. It reminds me of the old DOS games that we had randomly booted from our childhood. We
Sure
had
does.
a German guy who was friends with my dad from Germany, lived in Germany, come to our house, and then like my dad told me about a bunch of like German DOS games he had set up on a floppy disk on our PC. And there are a bunch of just like centipede and columns and stuff like that under German names. And one of them reminds me greatly of the little sprite of that, where it's just like a bunch of different squares. It's not really like a character. It's just a bunch of squares that vaguely looks like a human. Alrighty. Okay, Feasel, you can have this one, because, as you may have noticed looking at the name, you're probably thinking, he's got to give this one to me, because the first 3 letters are the same
like
as
half
the
my
first
name.
3. Yeah, it's nearly all your
Yeah.
name right there. So let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, sure. This is Fear for the PC, and it is an any percent current patch. Time is 1 hour 6 minutes 56 seconds in-game time by Swart, who says this is the current patch version of Fear. It has no ladder clip, so there is less out of bounds. There should be a sad face there, but it didn't show up, I guess. Instead, we have to get more creative if we want to go out of bounds. This run was overall very good, except for a big time loss to the harder corner climb. Shoutouts to Suicide Machine for the auto splitter load remover, and to Arcdice for the new strats at Vault Skip.
I really I've noticed that a lot of people thank other runners in this game that I never hear of otherwise. Like, it's always the other people they mention I've never come across before. There's very rarely a name in the shout-outs, so I'm like, oh, well, that guy, he's cool. It's always just, I've never heard of this dude.
Really?
Where are
Actually,
all these
often-
extra speedrunners coming from?
Well, I think a
So-
lot of times... Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say, it's just, they just seem to come from nowhere, but they're all somehow very important to the runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who like to contribute to speedruns, like coming up with strategies and ideas, and they
Rather
don't
than
necessarily
do-
do
yeah.
like big streams and grind out attempts. So maybe that's why we don't end up, hearing
Yeah.
about them when we go through record lists or something.
Yeah. Well, it definitely happened with the Arkham series. Is there's a few guys who do just find skips and break things, but just don't run the game.
Yeah, it's like, I'm thinking as well of Judgy in Borderlands, who found so many glitches, but then sort of a lot of the time left other people to do the runs for them. That seems like the way to go, actually. I've never been thanked for finding anything in a game. Maybe I should
Find some things
Maybe we should
in
find
games.
some stuff.
maybe I should do some work and help people out instead of just doing nothing all the time. But then again,
Eh.
yeah,
You can start that tomorrow. There's no reason you
yeah,
need to start now.
exactly. Let's start that tomorrow. I've already filled out my to-do. I actually didn't write a to-do list for today. Wait, what
That
day
would
are
be
we
the first
on?
item on it.
It's Sunday, right? How come my to-do?
We're on day number 19.
We're on Sunday.
Of week number 431.
I haven't written anything on my to-do list since Thursday, you guys. Have I done nothing in that time?
You should have written write a to-do list on your to-do list.
Oh, that's been crossed out every other day. That's the
Ah.
problem. Anyway, let's talk about Grand Theft Auto Vice City 100%. 651.57 by S. That's right, everything in Vice City to get the 100% marker. It says it's an alright run. Just Vice City's physics made me lose 9 minutes on Hit the Courier, but the rest of the run is minor mistakes only. I hope to bring this time down to below GTA 3's 100% world record time, so that all main Vice City categories are faster than 3's, at least until someone starts grinding GTA 3 hundo. Yeah, they found some cool things that make Taxi, for sure. It's definitely Taxi is shorter, which is one of the big time sinks in Vice City. The main 3 big time sinks being Pizza Boy, Ambulance, and Taxi, that all take quite a long time each and aren't hugely interesting. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the game. They've been working on it a lot. S has been running it a bunch recently and over the last few years, so it's a pretty damn good run. It's very good for a long 100% of a game. Definitely had a lot more work put into it than GTA 3's 100% and a bunch of other games 100%. So yeah, good job to S. Well done. There was I imagine he got this during the race over the weekend. I'm not certain, but they did the quote unquote annual Vice City 100% race, and I can only assume S won by a lengthy amount. I don't know who else did anything, but there you go. Also, Half-Life Episode 2 PC any percent 3654 by Elgu, who merely says "yee," which maybe is like a yeah or something. That's probably a yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's probably what he wanted. That's nice. I'm glad we got an American here to do that for us. I think Robo and I would have done a bad job.
Yeah, mine would have been much more high pitched.
We would have been like, yee.
Is it like
Yee!
Yee.
uttering yee and then just waiting for a ha, but there's no ha.
Yeah, there would have been a yee-haw. That's maybe why Fiesel's so good at it. Because you're probably saying yee-haw a lot in your day-to-day life, right?
Sure.
You're probably like, oh, we got Lucky Charms, yee-haw! Stuff like that. I think that's what Americans do on a day-to-day basis. Speaking of things that people who are maybe American did, but I don't know for sure, because I'm not sure. But possibly, they may or may not have done this, and these runners may or may not be American. Fiesel,
speculative segue.
Tell us about this run,
Okay.
that they may or may not have been done by your fellow countrymen.
Alright, sounds good. Well, okay, this is a co-op speedrun of Judge Dredd, Dredd versus Death for the PC. The category is co-op versus death, and the time is 25:17 by Dr. T. Chops and Dredd. Let's see. He says, finally, or one of, or both of them have said, finally got a run of this that we're happy with. This is the first time this category has had a solid run, and the first with both views. We am the law. Okay. We am the law.
Does that make them American or not?
I don't know if we can tell from that. I think appreciation of Judge Dredd is pretty much universal. So
it is. I tell you what's the new Judge Dredd movie is very, very entertaining.
Oh, with
Carl Urban, and Lena
where he doesn't show his
Hadley.
face.
Yeah, Lena Hadley and the other girl. It's really quite fun. I watched it on the plane to AGDQ one year, I think, and I loved it. It was really good. You people should watch it. You should also enjoy Judge Dredd, Dredd versus Death, which is this game. And,
this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I first heard about this game because it won the award for ugliest speedrun.com leaderboard page based on a few people's things, and it had like a Judge Dredd's face, like what was it called when it marqueeing across the screen and tiled, and then they fixed it. They changed it, but it does look surprisingly fun for what it is.
Yeah, co-op speedruns with skips are pretty fun.
They're the best. Co-op speedrunning is absolutely the best.
Yeah, and they're doing all this sequence breaking and stuff. It's pretty neat.
It's nice. So congratulations.
Yes.
Enjoy your American, possibly, foodstuffs and things, and if not, enjoy whatever you got. A couple.
Well, I think for this they chose American treat for this because it looks quite American.
It did look American, but you're probably just saying that because there are guns.
Yeah, like all Americans have.
All right. Speaking of something,
we don't have guns in this country.
Speaking of things Americans don't have, this is a Master System game. Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Master System in 2549 by Beatram, who's kind of ruining my point by being American.
Yeah.
Damn you. It's 20.
Right. Beatram got it from us dirty Europeans.
Yeah.
So.
It's 2549. He says there's a new skit where unshrinking Mickey turns invisible and can somehow clip through chests. This let us skip a section of the game, saving about 35 seconds.
Wow.
Hot damn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. You, if you're at Shrunken Mickey, as you enter water, you unshrink and you turn invisible, and yeah. So the game kind of doesn't let you pass through most walls, and you still get hurt by it. Still take damage from enemies, and unshrink and become visible again. But it just lets you pass through a chest.
Yeah.
Because reasons.
Yeah. Because that's how life is.
Yeah.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't work. So
exactly.
Politics
just works.
Doesn't. He also wrote in chat for those listening to a podcast and or later VOD version of this thing, which you can find on TSSBreak.com. He said shoutouts to Rasmus for finding it. Crazy Rasmus who found it. So there you go. Shoutouts to Crazy Rasmus.
Who is European?
He's from Norway.
So your point returns.
He's not hugely European, but he's more European than Robo and I are.
It's not hugely European. He's like somewhat European.
Well, he's like
he's European enough.
He's European by location, but not by necessarily a political affiliation. Because Norway is not in the European Union, as you well know, right, Fiesel?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See? I knew you knew. I was just, so the audience knew that you knew. Now,
Right now, we all know.
speaking of... No segue, sorry.
We're just talking about European, and this is a PAL run.
Okay, well, this is a Belgian console. You're right. You're giving me something here. This is a Belgian console, which is also where the EU parliamentary buildings are in Brussels. So, much like the EU, this is born in Europe, born in Belgium, or rather I don't know, it's whatever. Belgium. Link Faces of Evil. Robo, read us this thing, please.
Okay. Link, the Faces of Evil from the one of the most beautiful consoles ever created, the Philips CDI, in Power Region 80% run, done by Author Blues in 25 minutes and 29 seconds. And he writes, this run is pretty optimized now. Took some of the improvements from Tompa and got an exceptionally good run finally. This game is incredibly challenging, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Probably a low 24 would be optimal for a bit more routing and a better run, but overall this run was exceptional.
Yeah.
I can't tell from reading that if that part about it being fun was sarcasm.
It's Author Blue, so he doesn't really know what fun is, so... he thinks he's got a good idea, but he's way off, and everyone's just waiting for him to figure it out.
So did the video not come through?
It's coming through. Is it? Oh, no.
Alright, let's try it again.
Yeah, I forgot to tick the thing. There you go. It's there.
You gotta see it, yeah.
It's
Hey!
there we are.
Oh, no, there he goes. Cool.
There we are. There we go. See, I thought I was done it. I thought I'd done it all. I was too. You boggled my mind with the possible segue that I couldn't quite work out in time. It's just that lengthy screen transition there. I really like these.
There's just one highlight, which is all of the screen transitions in one go.
I really like these Triceratops rhinos that they have wandering around. They do make me chuckle.
They are rhino triceratopses, wow.
Yeah. Is that not obvious?
Yeah.
Triceranos.
Yeah.
These moblins are pretty funny looking too.
Rhineratops.
Rhineratops.
Yeah. I do like this game when I look at it just to think that this is Zelda 2 just worse.
This is probably more like Dragon's Lair than Zelda 2.
Well, it's just like visually to look at, you're like, hey, it's like a worse Zelda 2.
It's a side-scrolling Zelda.
Yeah.
So clearly Zelda 2.
Yeah. Just for those in the chat who may not be enlightened or may not have been enlightened, go look up what the CDI controller looks like on YouTube and imagine having to use that for anything. It is an absolute joy to behold that it exists and an absolute horror to try and use, so there you go. Just do yourself a favor.
Right.
Now, we also have Monty. Monty's back. Many of you have been questioning and asking the show, when's Monty? Well, we have the power to show you Monty. It's Montezuma's return on PC, 100% in 117.03 by Util, who just tells us that 100% treasure and the bonus levels is their definition of 100%. So if you've missed punching or kicking fat things, don't worry, because it's back. We're going to keep punching fat things, and we're going to keep kicking fat things.
Like kicking tiny sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, tiny fat dudes that make that weird noise. I haven't seen him kicking yet. He's been punching. Oh, there's the kicking.
Yeah, we'll get some kicking.
Yeah, there's a bit of kicking.
There you go.
This is our highlight every time.
Yep.
I don't know if it's just genuinely a hard part of the run, or at this point they just, like, this is what they said to us.
So I heard a rumor this is going to be...
Yeah, that's a good rumor, actually, because it's very accurate. This is going to be a ESA. I couldn't tell you why. Oh man, everyone's roboting today. Is that just me roboting now?
You're not robots me.
Or
I'm getting robots from you guys.
what Flicky hears, because he's broadcasting.
Yeah, there you go. It's no longer roboting.
All right.
Let's close a bunch of things that may be responsible for roboting. There shouldn't be anything doing it, but, you know, just in case. Let's move on with our lives into Ninja Gaiden. Feasel,
Right into it. Yeah, I'll read
you've
this one
played
off.
this game.
I sure have. I
Yeah.
love this game. This is Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Any percent run in 10 minutes, 19 seconds by Jimmy Poopins, who says, well, I didn't expect to get sub 1020 within a couple weeks of my other PB, especially in a game this optimized, but I did. My sum of best is 1013. All right, 6 seconds off of a sum of best. I will keep going for now. This run is near flawless going into Act 4, 1 second off my sum of best split time, and every act, except for Act 6, thereafter, has a couple seconds worth of mistakes each, but nothing too major.
Yeah. He's good at this game.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's only 1 second off his sum of best for the first half of the game.
I don't get it when anyone's that close to their summer best.
Yeah,
No matter
really.
how close I get to my summer best, then I get some random super split in a practice run or something, and I never get near it again. Anytime I get close to it, it goes down.
Yeah,
So-
not a tremendous amount of RNG in this game, so that
Yeah.
probably helps.
Yeah,
a
that
bit.
makes sense. Yeah.
And I imagine he's resetting over really minor stuff constantly. If the improvements he's looking at are on the order of seconds. Still, this is quite a pain to execute properly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
And yeah, it's 1019. This game is, whether it can go below 10 or not, is just the point. Is approaching it. Like, it's getting very close, which is pretty crazy, really. I always forget, is Ninja Gaiden 1 is sub 11, right?
that sounds right.
Yeah. I can never remember if it's 11 or 10, that game. But, like, they just keep going down. Going lower and lower and lower. Okay, now, this is a dungeon game, so in essence you do go lower and lower and lower. I would like to preface this one with a disclaimer.
It's high 11s.
High
for
11s, there
Ninja
you go.
Gaiden 1.
Okay. Oh, it was cutting the 12, wasn't it?
Yeah, cutting the
that
12
it,
was the thing.
Yeah. I would like to preface this highlight with, I was given a timestamp and I couldn't figure out what I was meant to be, like, highlighting. So you may watch this highlight and think, what am I exactly seeing as the highlight? And my answer is, I'm really sorry, but I don't know.
Those are my favorite highlights. I
yeah.
like making ones like
So, if you give us a highlight in the future, please give us, like, at least idiot me, a basic idea of what I'm looking at. Feasel, can you read out about Pillars of Eternity, which
Sure.
isn't Path of Exile, which is the other PoE, which is a Diablo-style game?
okay, this
Yeah.
is different PoE.
This is,
So
yeah.
this is Pillars of Eternity for the PC. Any percent run in 25 minutes, 24 seconds by Gseed.
That was bracing.
Gseed?
Yeah.
Who says, Pillars of Eternity is a game about a druid who murders an entire caravan of travelers, then ritualistically sacrifices herself to resurrect as a level 8 cipher. He recruits a rogue... Wait, what? He recruits a rogue and a chanter, barges into an old stronghold, and murders its keeper without bothering to listen to his mad rambling. Proceeding to Defiance Bay, they kick a dog through a door, interrupting the Duke's assembly, but he was about to get assassinated anyway. Oh, the Duke's assembly, but he was about to get assassinated anyway. So they
The Ducks
follow the
Assembly would be
It does say
fantastic.
DUC, so I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
right, yeah.
But okay, but he was going to get assassinated anyway, so don't worry about that. Then they follow the assassin to Twin Elms. The rogue employs her powers of invisibility and swinging her two-handed sword at the speed of a machine gun, and the cipher helps by showing enemies a Doge meme, stunning them in awe for 30 seconds. Together they defeat the evil antagonist. I don't know what he was planning because all the dialogue was skipped through.
That explains what happened in that opening scene, which also means I did not need to show the screen of this halfling or dwarf or whatever it is for no reason. I was like, there's got to be something at this point. There's a bunch of whooshing noises. Yeah. I really wasn't sure what I was meant to be making in this highlight, but at least I know I captured it.
And we do have a more serious comment. This run barely has any mistakes, and there's not much left to break anymore.
Nice.
So apparently, very good run.
I like that it's not that the game is not broken, it's that they've run out of things to break in it.
You've broken all we can break for now.
That's a great problem to have. Okay, also in the world of speedrunning, this is a cool one. Quake, 100%. Elgo improved it. The aspect ratio is a little off, I'm sorry, but he is in a PC PAL run, so hang on, let me do what I should do and write that
Let me
emote.
log in so I can try.
There you go. I did it. It's a PC PAL run, 100% easy, in 4110 by Elgu. He says, Quake Easy, 100% is the best category. You can go fast with bunny jumps and you kill punk-ass monsters while doing it. The run is still 7 minutes 40 slower than the segmented run, so there's still room for improvement. Also, 16.9 is cheating. Please do not run Quake in that aspect ratio. Well, there you go. Don't do it, kids. The other kids are probably talking about how you should and offering you 16.9 monitors, but say no. Kids, say no to 16.9. Yeah, the segmented runs are usually very segmented, and they really take advantage of Quake's quick save, quick load system, so you can really do some crazy stuff in segmented, which is why that difference is quite large. But Elga's going to keep grinding this down. I trust him. This is planned for ESA as well, so if you're excited about Quake, which you always should be, at all times you should be ready to be excited about Quake. There you go. Congratulations to Elgu. You also beat the Half-Life episode 1 time this week. It's a busy week. Busy week.
This makes me want to play this game again.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I tried playing like Doom and that recently, the old school FPSs, and I just couldn't do them.
Really?
And I played
Doom is
some
so fun.
I played some Quake and Unreal again, and I was like, this is more like it. This is what I remember from my childhood.
Yeah. I still have the disc to this.
Nice.
It came in the cardboard.
Oh yeah, the
thing,
cardboard
yeah.
boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool until
stuff.
you realize that even just sitting on your shelf, all the corners fold in and turn white.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but it
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
matter.
it even played music too. It was a mixed mode disc. You could put it in, and there were some
Nice,
tracks on there.
nice.
Good stuff.
Coolio. Hey, we got Risk of Rain. Oh, Robo,
Yeah.
you got to do this. I'd like to outline. I think the whole world's had weather things this week. On Friday, it was 12 degrees Celsius colder than it was on Thursday. And yeah, it rained a lot on Friday. And Friday was supposed to be the hottest day of the year in the UK.
Oh yeah, it was miserable.
And it was crap. So
It's just May, and you're going to get the hottest day of the year already. What?
Well, I guess it slowly warms up, doesn't it? But it didn't in this case. It just went back to being wet and miserable. So anyway.
So suddenly the weather remembered it was in England. And
Yeah. It was like, wait,
Oh,
which
sorry,
country is
guys.
this? Oh, never mind. All right, Robo,
Whoops.
give us this one.
All right. So this is Risk of Living in England. It's a PC PAL game. Any percent speed.
Oh, wait,
by
PC
Onin.
PAL, hang on.
PC PAL. Yeah, come on.
I'm not
Guy
it.
Buck help out.
Huh?
By Onin in 927, who writes sub 930 achieved. Yet somehow this run still feels just good, not great. None of the portals were super fast, and my movement was a little sloppy at times. But for the rest, the RNG was pretty solid, and the Providence fight went effortless. This can probably still go down by up to 5 seconds, but I probably won't put as much effort into that. Shoutouts to Anshwo for realising that pressing down while hanging on an imaginary ladder zips you back up to the actual ladder instantly, saving another 3 seconds off the old strats.
Imaginary ladder. Now I know how to deal with those.
If you're ever climbing an imaginary ladder,
Right.
boys and girls, then pressing down zips you back up to the actual ladder.
That's a really good. If any of you are watching this and thinking, man, I need a Twitch name. Imaginary Ladder.
Imaginary ladder. I
That's
was
one.
thinking.
That's one for you. Is it?
I'm gonna
Well,
go
it'll
grab
be
it.
taken. It'll be taken now.
Go
Hurry
for
up.
Yeah, I
go
know.
for imaginary ladder.
ladder's going to show up in the chat.
Yeah, go for imaginary ladder
I wanted
underscore.
to. Yeah, just if you're thinking, I really wanted to participate in a Twitch chat for TSSB, but I
just-
can't think of a good Twitch name.
I can't be seen with this raggedy old ID I've got. I need something fresh, new, and exciting. Well, there it is. Imaginary ladder. There's another Risk of Rain one you can read as well, Robo.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah.
So this is Risk of Rain. Some of you may have heard of this. It's PC Pal.
Oh, is it? I just...
Yes, it is. It's by some chap named Onin, who completed 80% Monsoon in 11:59, which is way worse than England. And he writes, sub 12 achieved. Actually a kind of sloppy run, with several seconds lost to the game not registering me activating portals. But good RNG and good spawn control still makes for a good time. Guess I'm done again? All that's left is beating these times in co-op runs, but that's far more difficult than it sounds. Well, it always is really for co-op runs, isn't it?
You know, in monsoon countries, like in Goa, I read about... Well, no, I didn't read about it. When we were at secondary school, which for you Americans was 11 years to 16 years old, we watched this documentary about the dry and wet seasons in other parts of the world. And they had this thing where they have big parties in monsoons in Goa, in India. And they have, like, water parks, and everyone goes when it's raining, and there's loads of water, and everyone looks like they were having a really good fun. And it's something I always wanted to go to in my life. So if any of you live in Goa and know when monsoon season is and want to invite me to one of these exciting parties that may or may not be real, just send me a Twitch PM. I'll be happy to go. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know on that one while I got the opportunity. You never know.
This has been an appeal on behalf of LuckyLikesGoTraveling.com. Please give generously.
Someone also told me that Goa was like the Amsterdam of India. Which I don't know. They said there's a lot of cheap alcohol and partying there. But I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I was told. But Lord knows if I'm not going to spread it like it's the truth. No. Again, no segues. These games.
Nothing that can be said.
These
about this
games
will take
aren't
us into
easy.
RoboCop.
Yeah, well, anyway, so you can just do
I'll
RoboCop.
read this off because this game looks fantastic,
Yeah, go for it.
and I'm going to totally make people play this.
I'm
on this
about
show,
to find out if
this
that's
looks great.
sarcasm or not.
Well, it actually does look pretty.
No,
nice.
it does look good. Okay.
So RoboCop 2
Yeah.
for the NES. This is an 80% run in 11:57 by White Hat 94, who says I just got 11:57. Sub 12 was my goal, which crushes my old PB and an old run on YouTube and the TAS. And the TAS. Wow, good job, dude. This game is quite a brutal run. RoboCop does not control well, and almost every enemy and background object in the factory stages kill you in one hit if you touch them. The gears, the red jelly beans, etc. Red jelly beans, watch out. That leads to a very tense run since so many things can end it with one little mistake. A perfect run could probably go 10 to 15 seconds slower, but that would require perfect luck with the random elements, enemies, electricity, jelly beans, etc., along with perfect execution of RoboCop's terrible controls. I probably won't come back to this game unless someone else challenges my time.
Okay, thinking of jelly beans.
A lot of reference to jelly beans, which I like.
I'm gonna have to ask you a question as an American.
Okay.
I remember reading there are a lot of jelly bean flavors. We don't really. What's the company that makes jelly beans? Do you remember what they're called?
Jelly Belly is a company
Jelly
that makes
Belly.
jelly
That's the
beans.
one. We didn't really get jelly beans over here. We got jelly, but not jelly beans.
You've got jelly and you've got beans, and you might
Yeah.
think that combining those two would get you jelly beans, but it
Doesn't.
does not.
It doesn't.
Did it not?
It doesn't.
I'll put
Just
the
go.
pints back then.
Yeah, take that out the fridge and just put it in the bin, Robo, because it's not
Okay,
gonna work.
alright. Dang.
They always things saying like how they have all these like loads of flavors, right? Jelly Belly has a lot of flavors, but they also had like a disgusting flavors on purpose.
Yeah.
Was that like a thing? Did you go buy a pack of Jelly Belly jelly beans and you were like, ooh, hope I get good flavors, and you never know what you're gonna get, and then sometimes you have a jelly bean that is like, ooh, it's disgusting. Is that a thing? Did that happen, or is that just my
I think they don't generally mix them with the good tasting ones.
Oh.
I think that if you just buy a assorted pack of Jelly Bellies, they'd probably be all pretty good. You can buy gross flavored jelly beans, though. That is a thing in and of
So they're
itself.
not mixed. It's not meant to be a trick.
I haven't seen them mix, but that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. Maybe they do trick you by throwing in one.
Or just one duff one that makes you think you got food poisoning, and it turns out, no, that's just the flavour.
We had Revels here, which were like it was like they were chocolate covered things, but the things inside were different. So like one was a raisin, one was biscuit, one was just chocolate, one was coffee, and there was orange. And like everyone didn't like one of the flavors a lot, so the thing was like, "Whoa, you're gonna get a good one or a bad one," and it was like a roulette. Yeah. So
It was like Russian roulette, except instead of death, you had a coffee.
Yeah,
and
usually
chocolates.
coffee or orange is usually the problem. I don't know. I kind of
I never bought Revels ever because
because there was the odd chance that you would get one you didn't want. Yeah,
instead, what I would buy is this plain chocolate bar.
Yeah. Revels died out literally because people were worried about getting the flavor they didn't want. But there was a chance, like, you get a pack that was like 20% coffee ones, and you'll go, "Oh, damn it!" But,
actually, no, I remember there was an advert. There was an advert for Revels.
Yeah, there
which
was
literally
like,
set up as a like.
Will you get the one you? Yeah, it was. Will you get the one you didn't like? And coffee. That was it. Do you remember the guy ate?
Yeah.
The guy, in Russian roulette. If you ever go to a Russian roulette game, one thing I've learned from movies and television is that you should always bet on the white person. Because the white person always wins. They're always playing against an Asian dude all the time. An Asian dude's going to lose. So if you go to one, bet on the white person. But it was a woman. Was it a woman or was it a man? I can't remember. But they were white.
Sure
that's the key part, is they weren't the Asian one. And they're sitting across, and they got the Revels, and they'd put a Revel in their mouth, and everyone would be like, "What is it?" And the guy would be like, "Oh, it's chocolate," and they're like, "Yeah." And then the Asian guy at the end is like, "Ugh," and then the white guy goes, "Coffee," like that, doesn't he?
There you go, Flecky.
Coffee.
And, put that on the stream.
I can't put it on the stream, dude. You can put it in the chat, but this is what I mean. He smugly.
I'll put it in the chat.
I remember that. He smugly looks up at the coffee like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh wow, you weren't kidding.
No, that
is what's
perfectly describes the advert. Anyway, the thing is I feel a bit upset because I was really convinced that American childhood would consist heavily on tricking your friends into eating like the dog vomit jelly bean or something. But I guess. Oh well.
Cool. Well, congrats, White Hat 94 on your speedrun.
Well done.
That was what we were saying in a roundabout way.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
We
We're just trying to say congratulations.
We were discussing that for so long that he actually had a chance to improve.
Congratulations on your RoboCop 2 speedrun. And yes, it genuinely does look like a fun game. I had to make sure that Fiza wasn't trying to trick me.
It does, but now I hear that it's jelly bean heavy, so
it is jelly bean heavy. Really, it's his own fault. He should have known that we were going to go down the route of Russian roulette when he mentioned jelly beans in his comment.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Anyway, let's move on to this one. Now, Robo, you can do this one. This is the Rockman ROM hack. I can't remember which Rockman this is a ROM hack of.
Rockman
2. Okay, there you go.
Yes. So this is Rockman No Constancy, which I earlier misread as No Consistency. NES, the NES, Japanese NES, 80% hard, run by Malario. Yeah. Okay, that does look right. In 43.
Nice.
This is a nice time. And he writes, old time beaten by 1 minute. Still a lot of execution errors. 2 avoidable deaths, but fortunately not too costly. As for the game, a quick recap. 4 invincibility frames, damage received doubled, damage dealt halved, very good 8 stages, good RNG, troops in Rubble Man were very nice, 20 seconds to gain here. Wily 1 to 4 went great, Wily 5 became Wily chopped, Super Saiyan Wily went well, but not great but well, probably 30 seconds to gain in those Wily stages, maybe more. I know I can do a high 42. Thank you, Slurpy Ninja, for giving me the motivation.
Oh, I know that one.
Push this game to its limits. You know. Slurpy
I know him
Ninja.
of the references.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know him. Is that it? Sorry, yeah.
So so basically you don't really get to use invincibility frames to run on spikes like you do in many Mega Man games that I've seen.
Yeah, 4 is a lot fewer, way lower amount of invincibility frames compared to the standard Mega Man.
It's even less at 60 FPS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So there you go. Congratulations to May. Oh man, I can see why you had trouble with that.
We've had Malarial on the show. Before, his runs on the show before. So
yeah, it's the AE that's throwing me off. It's like Maelstrom with an aerial at the end. I thought it was meant to be malarial, like that, the spelling, but it's different. It's a bit more exotic sounding. But yeah, well done. Congratulations. That's one of the big Mega Man ROM hacks, the ones that are really high quality. So if you played all the Rockman or Mega Man games and you think, yeah, I want to play more, but there's no more classic ones to play, give No Constancy a go. It's one of the best ones for sure. At least that's what the Mega Man fans I know say. Rightio. Okay, Feasel.
Sure.
You got to do this. Okay, because this one, when you cut all the loading times out, this looks really cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, without loading times, it's about 20 minutes. Dude.
All right. So the running question here is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. This is for the Xbox 360. Category is Shadow Story, no MSG.
Massive skip glitch.
Massive skip glitch.
Yep.
Not monosodium.
Not monosodium glutamate. Yep.
Right. No monosodium glutamate in 47 minutes, 18
it's also
seconds.
That.
Right. There's also none of that in this run, I promise you. 47:18 is the time. Triple Agent is the runner, who says, so after getting the Sonic Story, no monosodium glutamate record in March, I decided to focus in on Shadow completely and gun for the record later. This run is the product of 2 straight months of very focused practice, and I'm really proud of it. Huge shout outs to Yish, DSS, and Focus Site 64 for helping me out in learning Shadow and collectively pushing this record as low as it is right now. The first highlight you're watching is a special frame perfect trick in 06 that you can do with gliding characters like Rogue and Knuckles. If you release the glide button on the exact same frame that you land, you get launched up in the air, and
it's actually backwards on this one. So that's the second clip.
Oh, it's the second. Oh, it's backwards. Okay, it's the second clip. And it makes Tropical Jungle able to be beaten in a very short amount of time. Just a great example of the glitchless Sonic 06 working, the glitchiness of Sonic 06 working in your favor. The other highlight is in Flame Core, where I got a really nice volcano section. The second half of Flame Core I find to be one of the more technical sections of the run, and I played really well, so I think it's a cool part to watch. It's very trick heavy, involving a door clip, out of bounds clip, and a damage boost, and it has a lot of sketchy jumps that are pretty risky but worth it. I will be trying to get a 46 since I lost about 20 seconds near the end, but I'm happy with this run.
Yeah, it looks really cool. The clips are the other way around because while he suggested them in that order, they were actually chronologically in a different order, so I just had them that way around in the Vegas. You do get to see something which I will actually show you again because I enjoyed it, which is Rouge spinning around at the end of the first stage when she gets in the she gets in the goal, and you just can still move. So he's just spinning around in circles, which I found
this game
very
is just so broken. It's amazing.
It's the It's the closest thing I have personally to a so bad it's good video game. Like there's a few of them out there, you know, but this is the one that really struck me as like a real just so bad it's amazing video game.
But it's so accessible as well. I remember sort of playing that with ESA.
I remember playing it with you.
Loads. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Was it you and Adam?
Me and Adam and Timps and Therio for a little while.
No, at my house when we bought the game. Remember when you went out and bought the game for actual money? Yeah. Yeah. That time.
Yeah, so that was before that. But yeah. That was absolutely amazing. But yeah, the load times are ridiculous as well. I remember back when I think it was Parax Age was running this game, and I think the actual run was an hour or something like that, and he timed the loading screens and it came to 17 minutes.
Yeah, that was right, because we had it on the show. was like 17
Yeah.
minutes of the 1 hour and 6 minutes run. And it's even worse when you play casually.
Yeah. Yeah, because every single time you don't skip half of them as well.
Yeah.
When we did it for ESA, we just ended up playing elevator music every time the loading screen came up.
Okie doke. Now this one I believe was beaten, so we're going to skip over it, I think. So we're going to go straight to Castlevania, right? Is that right? That's right. Yeah, straight to Super Castlevania 4.
Right.
Well, Super
Wait, what?
Castlevania.
I don't even see which one you're talking about. We go, Super Castlevania 4 is the next
There
one.
was a Strider one.
Oh yeah, no, that run was
Yeah.
beaten. Yeah, the Strider 2014
Yeah.
record was taken, but then taken back.
Ah, there we go.
I think.
Anyway,
Alright, and we got Super Castlevania 4. Oh, did you want to read it?
I was going to do it.
Oh, okay, go for it.
It's an 90% in 3203 by Furious Paul. He says SDA timing reads 3203.96, which is 1.27 seconds faster than the previous PB. The run contains numerous gold splits and overall amazing execution RNG. Stage 9 was the worst stage during the run, so I can save most of my time there now. Run features 1 cycle Chandelier, 1 cycle Mummy, 8 cycles Sluggerer, and 6 cycle Dracula. Inching closer and closer to that sub 32. Yeah, it's really cool to see that Paul's still going with this. As you may recall, a few months ago, just around, was it just after AGDQ or just before? There was a lot of Super Castlevania 4 action. And Paul's carrying on, which is really good to see. Anytime someone sticks with a run for a long time, it's good. It's a good sign for quality. I don't know if anyone else is running this right now, but I've only seen Paul streaming it on an SRL, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, that's all I know. So we know, Rick! Sorry, I had to get one in there while the Dark Place gif is up. You just killed that. What was that, Frankenstein or something?
Yeah.
Was a zombie.
Guess what, guys? Everything works now.
Oh hey, it's
Hey,
Gildersney.
welcome back.
Hey!
Yeah.
Speaking of breaking
that took
stuff.
forever.
Why won't this mute? As soon as you join, this video won't mute. Why won't it mute?
Yeah, Frankie.
It really won't anymore at all. Like, what have you done?
Here to not help.
Okay, well, whatever. I used the hotkey.
I had to reinstall the everything.
The everything.
He's got a brand new everything.
Oh.
This guy.
Yeah, I do.
I hate how it's reinstalled the everything. It's the most annoying part to
This
reinstall.
guy. And a brand new everything. Okie doke.
Do you want to read one of these records?
You should read the next
got
one.
three left.
Yeah, just a moment. Let me get to that.
Okay.
We're on Super Mario RPG, correct?
Yes, we are.
We are.
How did you know?
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's
Yeah.
because I just heard you talking about Castlevania 4 when I came in, and I opened the record stock, and that's the next one on the list.
Cool.
There you
And
go.
it's not actually for the NES, despite what that image is indicating.
That's right.
That is interesting
Yeah.
that it would indicate that. Maybe it's one of the Russian hacks that PJ got recently. But regardless, it's Super Mario RPG on the SNES, Japanese version, any percent in 250.54 by Oxus.
Yeah.
It says this run uses Peach Route, which is made by RPG speedrunner Claude. We SMRPG speedrunners have been using Death Abuse. This is the best way to grind XP and Mallow until end of the game until Peach Route was created. This route uses Peach as the main character and cuts Death Abuse, which makes it faster by 35 seconds than the old route. Route detail is here, and there's a pace bin.
Pace spin that pace spin.
So yeah. Somebody go. Hold on, let me do that.
I'll do it. That's fine.
Please do, because I'm still loading up the actual site here.
Okie doke.
I love that
You
the
have no
route
idea what-
change for a JRPG is 35 seconds quicker.
Yeah, and it's not even a slight thing. It's yes, we've just decided we're going to change who the main character is and remove all the death abuse.
And that comes
Because
to
it saves
35
35
seconds. That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
What a game. What a game. Good job. Good job, Oxus. It's Oxus. Come on. It's SMRPG. It's a really cool one. Does it still have the cool 3-frame super jump chains?
I'm sure it does.
Probably, right?
But
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Couldn't tell you. Okay. Now here's something we can tell you about, as long as the comments tell us what to tell you. Robo, can you tell us about this one? Skyrim. Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Sky of Rims.
Yeah.
So the Elder Scrolls V.
Watch your mouth, Gilda Sneeze.
What?
Oh.
That's a pretty shitty sky.
Mhm.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you guys not say rim in America?
Well, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Moving
I was
on.
trying to remain polite and mature for the stream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, in this pre-watershed time. it is necessary.
Of 20 past 1 in the morning.
Well, Robo, how about you do your job and read about this? Never mind.
I will if you stop interrupting.
It was a rim job.
So,
Yeah.
this is the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah.
On PC, not PAL,
Oh,
any percent.
I'll delete my emote typing.
I know. I had to get in there to stop you before it was too late.
TSSB. Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
So, and he completed the game in 39 minutes and 19 seconds. And he writes, I stole Grayscale's record the day before his RPGLB run because I'm a mean man. Sweet pea status will always be mine. Hashtag Team Jumpstrats.
I always had the impression that the horse was a lot better at running up hills than this video suggests. Like, I've not played the game, but based on, you know, all the images that went around when it came out, it made it seem that the horse would really just come up this hill no problem. This looks a lot more like how a real horse would struggle. Look at this! Look at his feet! Look at his feet, like, wobbling on the thing.
Yeah, this is an incredible.
I think this game needs a mountain goat mod.
Yeah. Probably has one. Thank you so much for that highlight. Thank you so much for picking that.
You
God
can
horse.
do it.
The horse is like wobbling its way up a hill. Hey, look at that, you're flying on a
Do it,
bucket.
horsey.
Never seen
Yeah.
before in speedrunning, you guys.
Wow, first person speedrun that involves flying on a bucket.
Why is it always buckets?
Why wouldn't it be buckets?
Like, I get it, it's a piece
Well,
of
sit
wood
in a bucket.
sometimes.
It's got like a passenger compartment. You shut up.
I,
Right
I remember back when it used to be shovels.
Sometimes it's shovels. It's nearly
now.
always
Back in my day, It was
buckets.
shovels, boy. Oh,
Way too often is it a bucket. Why are there so many buckets in games? Why?
Or
look, quit bitching about it. Buckets lead to great speedruns. All
I
right.
don't complaining.
You see a bucket in a game, you know somebody's going to the moon.
I'm just curious. Why is there a bucket? It's always a
Why
bucket.
isn't there a bucket?
Is it just because
Because
runners
of the
only
Guys.
test?
you have to stop because otherwise you're going to uncover the bucket conspiracy, and then one of you is going to get murdered, probably.
I just think it's like,
Yeah, probably.
is it just that
I'm pretty worried.
runners don't pick up any objects unless they're buckets? Is it just like, there's like a, you know, like a little box there, but I don't want it. A bucket.
I think the source code of video games just has that about buckets, and no one's been able to change it.
It's the round shape. Oh boy. Anyway, last but not least, we have Feasel reading us Zeliard, the final game on our thing today.
Zallard.
Yes, that's how every episode
I-
ends with. I
I'm-
thought that said Zellard as well.
I've read it as Zalard so many times.
Like, wow, Zellard just took the record for hidden distance. Interesting.
Hidden Distance, now that's another good
A
Twitch
friend
name.
of Invisible Ladder.
Yeah,
Hidden
y-
Distance and Invisible Ladder are buddies.
If you guys are looking for a Twitch name, try Hidden Distance.
Okay, goodness. So this is Zeliard for the PC. Any percent run in 37 minutes 25 seconds by Hidden Distance. Who says Zeliard was an early title from Game Arts Japan, localized in North America by Sierra. It's a tough as nails action RPG set in labyrinthine caverns. Zeliard has a speed selection feature which allows you to speed up or slow down the game. However, as you do not benefit from any invulnerability frames, the highest speeds can be completely unmanageable in combat. Fairly pleased with the result of my initial efforts into this game with this single segment run. Late game could be a lot better though.
This game looked really cool. I very much enjoyed the sword swinging animation and the jumping somersault sword animation. That was enough to sell me on this game, and the music was pretty good based on the OSTs I found.
It's Sierra localization. It's got to count for something.
Yeah, Sierra's still a company.
I would assume that they've been bought by somebody by now, so I would guess no.
Just thinking about that.
But they're responsible for a lot of games that I loved as a kid, so...
I believe that they localized Evil Genius, or not localized, but were the publishers of Evil Genius, which is a very good game.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Evil Genius is really fun.
That's a really cool game. You guys should all do
Wait
that.
for somebody to speedrun that.
Yeah, we're all waiting because none of us want to. Like,
Yeah,
That's a really great
And I-
game. I'd never.
I can't
speedrun that
speedrun
damn thing,
PC games. don't be
based on the
ridiculous.
knowledge I have of how Evil
What?
Genius works, I'm just convinced the speedrun will be like an hour at the beginning where you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like-
and then suddenly completing all the missions.
Yeah,
and killing all the
exactly.
agents
Like there'll be an
whilst
hour at the beginning where
whilst creating your super rockets.
you put everyone all over the map and just sit there and like, all right. And
Play some elevator music.
there you go. Activision bought Sierra. There you are. See, everyone with that googling knowledge. Thank you guys. And there you are. That's all our records. There you go. This is the first page.
So it is.
You got the second page. Then we got the third page, and so on. Which I'm not going to say the rest of them. There you go.
Wait,
Shout
what
out
comes after
to
the third
Skype
page?
For letting me participate in this episode. You
It's
know,
alright.
10 minutes before it ended.
Gonna hit that split. There we go. Look at these
Skype RNG.
golds. Look at these golds. By speedrunner logic, we should be getting our viewer PB any minute now because we're really ahead of our record. Now, we have some things to mention, right? Let's see. ESA cuts are out. SGDQ schedule should be soon. Is that right?
I saw a tweet like earlier today that it should be out in the next day or two. Like
Nice.
the final schedule thing.
So, yeah, should be out soon. I wish them not loads of dropouts. As marathon games deciders, it is the bane of our existence. Of course, you can't help it if you need to drop out, but god dang it if it isn't quite annoying. Then,
Gosh darn it.
gosh darn it.
Speaking of that, I gotta go. No. Just got here. Gotta leave.
Now, we do
Come
not
back
have
next
a
week when I can
plan.
say well.
Yeah, we do not have a plan for next week right now, but we'll work on one. We'll try and get it. If you have any suggestions for the show, please PM us or tweet at us. Twitch PM, you can just PM on us Twitch. If you want to tweet at us, it's TSS Break. TSS Break at TSS Break. That's the Twitter thing.
Yeah, do that.
If you want to use our Instagram, it's at TSSB Sexy Boys, but it is not safe for work. So
It's true.
do not look at that one while
Pictures
working.
of Fiesel will probably make you blush a little bit.
Oh, golly will they. We were talking about blushing earlier, weren't we? Yeah, there we go.
I think
Nice
you
full
might-
See, I knew
circle.
what was going on even
Nice.
without being here. Pretty
Nice
good.
full circle. We mentioned that blushing, making someone blush was a very good feeling. There needs to be a word for that. I'm sure French has one or something.
Probably so.
Yeah. Please. Oh, we're going to run some ads at the end of the show if you want to watch some of those. RPG Limit Break just happened. I think they raised $45,000.
That it did.
Yeah. Really cool layouts. That's what I remember.
Awesome done.
I remember opening up and thinking, these are cool layouts, so good job
I
on
remember
that.
getting raided by them.
Yeah,
in
you
the
got
middle of the
raided
night
by
last
them.
night while I was doing my like the worst set of Zelda 2
Yeah.
speedruns I've done all week.
That's
So
Destiny.
of course, when 1,400 people show up,
That's Destiny. Something dinosaur.
yeah, what dinosaur baseball,
Dinosaur?
baseball dinosaur.
Baseball dinosaur.
No, it's football
No, I like
dinosaur.
Football dinosaur.
Football dinosaur.
I know. I'm just
Oh my god. I'm so... Okay, well, fine. Obviously went over my head, that
No,
reference.
no. I like baseball dinosaur. That's what we're gonna go with.
Okay. But
What?
dinosaurs couldn't play
No, you just
baseball.
changed
They
it.
can't grip the thing.
The tiny arms. Do you think all dinosaurs? Can't?
Well,
I
they
bet
either
raptors
had...
could play baseball.
No, but they still had tiny arms.
Well, yeah, but they could
They either had
do
tiny
stuff.
arms or they had the big stompy feet.
big stumpy feet.
Yeah, you know, like Triceratopses had the stompy
Probably
feet.
hold a club in your mouth though, right? And just swing that.
Could
Hold
you-
to some sort of like tree branch and play baseball with that.
Okay, but how are they going to throw the ball?
Well, you'd have to have a caveman to throw the ball, and the
Okay.
dinosaur would hit the ball. You
That
don't know how
seems
dinosaur
unfair.
baseball works?
That seems very unfair. You're going to have a team of men playing a team of dinosaurs.
It's not like it's wrestling or something or football. It's baseball.
It's not competitive, is that what you're trying
Well,
to say?
you're not like it's not like man against dinosaur directly. You know,
Oh, you're saying it can
fists
be
to
man
claws.
and dinosaur against man and dinosaur.
Well, no. Now you're talking about a mixed league with
Oh.
dinosaurs and cavemen.
Is that not how it works?
Well, that's not how it worked
No.
back then. It was a different
Oh,
time.
Okay, alright.
Mhm.
Did dinosaurs and... no, whatever. Anyway. There was dinosaurs playing baseball at some point, I imagine.
Of course.
Who knows? TSS Break, I mentioned that. Go to that website, tssbreak.com, and you'll see loads of things. You can submit runs there as well in the submit runs form. We're gonna find someone to raid.
Are we?
Nah.
Yes,
He's
we are.
posted someone already.
Should we? Can we just not today? Or did Fiesel already do it? Okay, that's alright then. Fiesel's got it
Yeah, we
sorted.
found somebody.
Are there?
Okay.
pretty It's very appropriate to what we were discussing, sort of.
Thanks to Robo for being on the show.
Thanks, Robo.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like we're forgetting something. Are we?
What would we be forgetting?
I don't know. I just feel like we're forgetting something.
We got it all done. It's all
Alright.
done, man.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay,
it's
cool.
all in there.
Then we're
Who's
going to
in there?
run some ads after the show, and we will see you next week for another fun-packed Oh, wait, hang on. No, you can't make edutainmental? No, you can't.
Edutainment.
I was going to try and make
Edutainmental.
edutainment and educational. I was going to try and combine them, but I couldn't think of a way.
That's edutainment.
Edutainmental. Who knows? Who we rating, Fiesel?
Well, I think a pretty good bet would be Abda, who is playing Chrono Trigger right now.
Okay.
He's doing a 100% Chrono Trigger run, so if you want to... He's only 2 hours into it out of a 5-hour run, so if you want to watch Chrono Trigger...
Some
Why
sweet
wouldn't you?
RPG action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Really excellent SNES
What's the
RPG.
raid message going to be?
Football dinosaur.
No, I think Invisible Ladder.
Oh, imaginary ladder.
Invisible ladder.
Imaginary Ladder.
Imaginary
Ima-
ladder.
So not
imaginary
invisible, it's
ladder.
hidden distance, imaginary ladder, invisible dinosaur.
Yes. There you go. Type it out.
Holy shit. That's
Let's-
a raid message indeed.
Let's rock and roll. We'll see you guys next week for some more Sunday sequence break.
Yes, we will.
Yes. Fiesel, we gonna say goodbye?
Okay.
Robo?
Hopefully the scope
Bye.
won't explode next week.
Alright, we'll see you next
Bye,
week. Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The Sunday Sequence Break.